Hey everyone, so this is the second installment, second excluding the introduction, to my series on the logical flaws within Young Earth Creationism. So basically there's this idea among many creationists that while so-called macroevolution, which says that one species can't turn into another, didn't happen, that a form or several forms of microevolution, which are smaller adaptations, did happen. This theory basically says that there were fixed kinds of animals in the Garden of Eden and that they spread out around the world following Noah's flood. They diversified into different varieties and they changed, but they didn't turn into new kinds, so to speak. So, for example, if I'm to parody the theme to the TV show Mr. Ed, a horse is a horse, of course, and nobody can evolve a horse, of course. So, this is basically what it is. And anyway, it's this idea called baraminology, it's creationist system of thought. I've never actually heard it pronounced out loud. I think it's called baraminology. I think that's how it's said. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but basically that's what it is. And the infamous Creationist Museum sometimes refers to it as the creation orchard, which is in opposition to the evolutionary tree, which is seen in most textbooks. Nobody has exactly defined what determines a unique kind or baramin, but since the passage in Genesis says that God created animals to produce after their own kind, I will assume it means that a baramin is any group of animals that can successfully reproduce with each other and produce an offspring. So it's basically similar to how most scientists would define species, I think. So basically, if we return to the horse family example, God created one stock kind of horse on the sixth day of creation. During the flood, Noah and his family took whatever this stock horse was onto the ark. After they disembarked, the descendants of this animal spread out around the world and into the various members of genus Equus that we know today. So, some of them migrated to Africa to become zebras, some of them went to Central Asia to become onagers, and of course some of them went to Europe and the Middle East to become the domesticated horse breeds that we know of in Western history. Now here's the problem with what they're arguing in Young Earth Creationism here, right? They believe that the flood was between 5,000 and 4,000 years ago, and that gives these animals a very short amount of time to change into the various versions that we know of. And basically, these animals, most of these forms, zebras, donkeys, horses, have been known in their unique forms for most of recorded human history. So it's a very short amount of time. As a result, creationists must believe in a form of super-evolution, in which these changes happen relatively quickly and without the aid of selective breeding, over the course of a few centuries or at most maybe like a millennium. Not the long ages that most scientists would give. Most scientists have the most recent ancestor of all of genus Equus living at the latest around 3 to 4 million years ago. A young Earth creationist who believed that Noah's flood happened a few thousand years ago would have this basic equid living at the latest around 4,000 years ago. And we haven't even accounted for the various extinct members of the horse family, inside and outside of the genus Equus, who we only know from the fossil record. The same thing is true with the cat family. I asked Young Earth Creationists to answer this question, basically about, what the cat baramin was. If we assume that because lions, leopards, tigers, and jaguars are all part of the same baramin, because they can breed with each other, how do we account for the rapid development of their unique features, and especially when they were never subjected to domestication like most of the cats that you have in your homes are? Why can't they breed with cheetahs, who are very clearly cats, but are outside of the genus Panthera, which lions, leopards, jaguars, and tigers belong to? Cheetahs are not a Panthera, but they're clearly cats, and they were never domesticated. Why can't they breed with them? Are they a part of the same cat baramin? Did God create several different cat baramins? What's the deal here? What about the various species of big cats that are no longer with us, like the saber-toothed cat, Smilodon, or the scimitar cat, Homotherium? What about them? Are they a part of this baramin as well, this special created kind? In a previous video, I already covered the objections to the belief of some creationists that the predatory features of meat-eating animals appeared either after original sin or after Noah's flood. Again, if this is true, what would this mean as far as like rapid evolution? It would basically have to mean rapid evolution happened where, snakes suddenly developed poison glands and, sharks suddenly had teeth that were capable of killing seals. It would be rapid evolution. And given that young Earth creationism so strongly rejects the idea of new features suddenly appearing over eons, as most scientists believe, doesn't it stand to reason that they wouldn't suddenly appear over a few centuries? I mean, it's the logic, right? If you follow the logic, if it doesn't happen over eons, it's not going to happen over a shorter amount of time. In any case, that's why young Earth creationism, belief in the idea of baraminology, doesn't work. It's basically, you have to believe in evolution on steroids if you're going to be a young Earth creationist in the kind of system of thought that Answers in Genesis and CRI are in. There's no way around it, and in order for young Earth creationists to work, it needs to accept a accelerated version of an idea that it was founded on and was always supposed to be in opposition to. So basically, yeah, that's what I got to say about baraminology. And I'm out. This is Skeptic Talk. As always, answer the questions by questioning the answers. Peace out.